Rolling?
Yep.
Okay, hi Chris. So I have some still photos of this thing being made, and I'm gonna explain what we did right now. So we have two 6 foot long, these are 1x2s, but for one of them, the bottom piece, you should probably use maybe a 1x3, something about 3.5 inches in width this way. And they're 6 feet long. The inner boards right here, you're gonna have two of those. Those can just be 1x2s. And the dimension on those is 18.25 inches. I took a picture of that, we wrote it down there. And the bigger piece, the wider piece, will be on the bottom. It'll go on the bottom. When we screwed it together, we used 2 screws. The bottom piece should have, actually, take that back, 1 screw, 2 screws will go on the top piece, just like this. And then we pre-drill the hole through this piece, bigger than this screw so it can slide. That's important on the bottom one because you're going to want that to be adjustable. So drill holes in this first that allow a screw to pass through loosely, and then hold it up nice and square here, nice and flush, and then continue that screw through and make it nice and tight 2 times, and that'll hold this nice and true from twisting. And then the other one's just going to have 1 hole. This board was a little long, but it's going to have 1 hole, and that'll be the clamping screw. This one also slides back and forth, so that's important. Okay, so now I'm gonna have Aaron step over and show you, and then we have these handles that are very, very handy. Just get a hardware store handle, and the screws are around 3/4 inch screws. They protrude a little bit, so you might wanna leave it a little loose so this isn't scratching your wall. These things come out a little bit, but these are very handy and useful. So now Aaron's gonna come over, and the first thing we do, okay, the piece is hanging. Make sure the top ridge doesn't have any areas that are real close. Now, if everything is perfect for you, you'll be able to take this piece and lower it straight down, just like this. You kind of center it and then rest it on the top. So if everything's perfect for you, it'll work like that. If you have any of these edges that are close in, you may have to unscrew one side and pass it through this way, and then reattach this side. That's worst case scenario. If everything's nice and clean, you just do what we just did right there. And then you're gonna take the bottom piece, and that's gonna go up under, same situation. Hopefully you can raise it straight up. If you have to, come in from left or right. And then this is gonna go against, let me move this thing. Okay, this is gonna go against the bottom of the box, and then line up your pre-drilled holes, and just kind of start one end. Are we on the middle? Pretty good? Okay. Start one end, and leave it, and then start the other end. These are cut so that they're a little smaller than the rectangle in there, so it's going to clamp. Okay. Now we can continue to pull that fully in. So now it's like clamped. There's pressure on all the corners. That's going to hold the piece for you. Okay. So now we're clamped. Now the other thing that's important to do, and we took a few still photos. Do you want to try to?
Yeah.
You want to try to show them from the edge with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just pick up the whole thing.
Okay.
Pick up the whole thing and just see if you can walk it over and show them behind here. So now what you have is the clamp is flat against your wall. We had to put up a piece of plywood, but this will be flush against your drywall, and there's going to be a space between the back of the front surface of the wood and the back of the piece, and we're going to want to put a piece of foam in there to act as a shim, because we're going to be strapping this together. We don't want it to pull against the glass. Especially, you see right here, there's a feature that's close to the wood, and if you just pull that in without any shim, it's going to break these fingers. So I'll show you how to do that. We took some stills of that, and we basically take some pink styrofoam, cut it in approximately that same shape and height, and ideally you get a wedge shaped piece so it'll sit back in there. And you want to just show him this going in?
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna now, hopefully you can see this, we're gonna place this thing right in here like that. So now when we're gonna wrap this with plastic, back and forth, up and down, and it's gonna pull this against the piece, but that shim will keep it from contacting the glass. So you'll be safe. You won't be squeezing the wood onto the glass. Okay, so now put it back there. And we've already shimmed all the other corners with the foam. So each corner has a little wedge between the wood and the glass that's sitting in there pretty tightly. And then that'll keep it, when we do this next process, the piece won't be squeezing.